So we're at the Muddy Boots Cafe, having dinner again, and our waitress said, "Oh, you guys have been here all summer." Yeah, we start complaining about how
much trouble we're having with the owner of VBR.
And were we wishing that we were already finished, and she said, "It's not you. Everybody knows Gary's crazy."
Everybody knows about Crazy Gary.
Something like that, yeah.
You know, he confessed to us some time ago. I know they call me Crazy Gary. He's not really happy about it. He definitely is someone with behavior problems and difficulties. But at the end of the day, what happened was, with one person working full-time, that was me, and then 3 people helping out part-time, we got a canopy tour built with lengths ranging from 75 to over 1,200 feet, 13 zips total, 12 platforms. We got that almost totally completed in 2 months. 2 months. And for well under the budget of $150,000. Exactly how much the total cost, including participant gear, is, Chase will know when we're done, but it's well under $150,000 for the whole thing. We did it by being employees of Valley Branch Retreat. That kept costs way down. VBR did the purchasing themselves, so there was no markup there. It's not like we bought the stuff, mark it up 10%, sell it back to you. And so for the size of the project, that's a really good cost and a really small amount of time. So I'm proud of everything I did. It wasn't our layout. I don't know if the layout would have been workable in a conventional fashion with, gravity stops. Don't know. But we've got what I call the helping hand right now. We've got a braking system that's guide operated and brings every rider into the platform at the arrival end very nicely, no matter what their weight. Nobody comes in too hot or too cold. Everybody always makes it. And so that made it workable. We didn't need to worry about our tension and our elevations very much at all. We did, at the end of the job, when Gary took away our housing and took away our pay.
It decided I didn't need to work anymore, and then didn't pay me for my last 40 hours that I did work.
Owes us about $1,000. We quit at the end of the job. I'm not really proud of that, but I'm also really not proud of the amount of time it took. We could have gotten it done. I'm totally confident we could have got the whole thing done in a month and a half. It took 2 months. Plus,
more.
Yeah, it's still going on. What began to concern me at the end was that, my name is going to be attached to this thing that's winding up taking twice as long as it should have and costing way more than it could have. And, it's 2 bad decisions. I could have hung in there getting screwed and seeing it all the way through. But I gotta try to keep my self-respect, and I'm trying to make a little bit of a statement by saying, well, you can't screw me, Gary. I gotta screw you back. Sorry.
Most of the reason it took too long was that Peter was hired to be the lead builder, and whatever plan he had for the day, Gary wouldn't ever follow it. Gary had to change the plan that Peter had, and so things got set back, things got changed, it became a mess, and he would never let Peter be the lead builder. He always had to be in charge and say how things were going to go, and
had to question and to change every plan. And this has always given us a 24-hour setback. Gary also, he wants to be able to say he built it himself. He's going to say that. And
he's also proud of not paying other people. He bragged to us at least twice
about how he doesn't pay people. He doesn't pay Dave. He might not pay Lori. He's not going to pay us. But, we got most of what we were owed. We can claim with the state for back pay. But Gary wanted so much to be doing it himself that despite my best efforts to prevent this, he would take responsibility for pretty key elements. Platforms was one that he wanted to do himself. I saw trouble coming, and sure enough, platforms were a clusterfuck from start to finish, causing really big delay. And it wasn't the only delay that Gary brought on us, but it was a big one. Platforms were very poorly handled, very slow to come to pass, and so we struggle. We need platforms in order to install the helping hand. The zips are all in, but we need platforms in order to complete the braking system. And Gary likes to just put things off until tomorrow. Put it off next week. Next week I'll go get that lumber, or something like that. Loves to put things off. But I know the whole time I'm going to be blamed for the delays.
Not fair.
Yeah, it's hogwash. We sent, we were not happy with the way things went. I point the finger at Gary, who interfered. I know how to build these things. To do a course this size in a month and a half, 2 months, with, one worker full-time and 3 workers part-time is really pretty good. I enjoyed myself immensely doing it. The Gary factor was unpleasant.
But the work itself is...
The work itself is nice.
I love it.
Yeah. In an extreme sports kind of way, but, that's my preference. Things that are difficult and things that take 12-hour days, I really enjoy that. 12-hour days actually are short from a mountaineering standpoint. Short and easy. Gary is a very personable guy, and you're going to believe him as he brags about himself and all the things he's done. And it's not until you are around for a while that you find out that so much of it is false. We were recalling the story about his friend who does this for a living, this friend who installs Wi-Fi systems, big commercial Wi-Fi systems, and he's going to have him do his campground, and then we'll have internet access. Well, it turns out, after he said this again and again and again about his friend who does this...
Next week he's coming.
Right. It turns out that his friend was a Craigslist ad that never called back. That's the friend. A Craigslist ad. Things like that, just over and over and over again. You're going to like Gary, but don't trust him, and he'll try to cheat you.
Hard to know what's true, what he says. It's hard to know what's the truth.
He's a businessman in the ancient Chinese fashion, where you got to watch out.
So we're in the parking lot of the grocery store, and Peter asks a couple of men over there with a truck or something, what's a good mechanic in town? So they tell us where to go. So we take our tool truck over there for the guy to work on it for us.
Yep.
And
we tell him that we just finished working for Gary Bartels, and the guy looks me straight in the eye, and he says, "Did you get paid?"
And this is the best mechanic in town.
Yeah, very reputable guy. You know.
And excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, Austin.
And we almost did get paid. The way we set it up, we got almost everything. But he's looking for a way to screw people. It's just his modus operandi.
Definitely looking for a reason to mistrust and, you know, some people just subconsciously create enemies. They don't really know they're doing it, but they just create enemies somehow. It's just the way. I don't know.
So,
I mean, not that he's my enemy, but my goodness.
We won't have anything to do with
What
him
a
in
time.
the future.
What a time we had.
We did get a big course built in a really short period of time for a very low price tag, and I look forward to doing it again.
Me too.
Yeah. If you want to contact someone at Valley Branch Retreat, take anything Gary says with a grain of salt, but you, I feel, can completely trust Chase Buffington, who is imported from Washington State to be the Canopy Tour manager. You can contact Chase Buffington at Valley Branch Retreat. And
or it's also called Explore Brown County now.
It
too.
is. They're changing the name to Explore Brown County. And we got it done quick, cheap, well, no significant injuries. If it hadn't been for the Gary factor, we could have been cheaper and quicker still.
Probably.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to our whole video.
Give us a call. zfazip@gmail.com. We look forward to building more of these.